Okay, I declare this meeting open to the public. Can you welcome members to the 52nd meeting of the Public Accounts Committee in this mandate? Can I also advise that the committee meeting will be recorded and broadcast out Parliament buildings and online? There could be a slight delay between moving between any private and public sessions, so please be patient with the system. Can I also advise anybody who will be joining us in the public gallery that they're welcome to use mobile devices as long as they're in airplane mode and that all devices are muted. The Assembly Wi-Fi password can be found in the gallery rules and is not permitted to record any part of today's proceedings or take photographs. We have apologies from our new Ulster Unionist member, John Burrows, MLA, and everyone else is here. Joining us online with Padraig Delargy, MLA. Okay, members, we'll proceed. Can I refer you to the pack for a copy of the draft minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd of October, pages 6 to 16 of the meeting pack. If members are agreed, I'll sign the minutes if they're accurate.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, members, as always, it's important to ensure that you've considered the full agenda for today's meeting and that any relevant declaration of interest is made early in the meeting to ensure that it's recorded in the public interest in public session, open session. Can I ask members at this point if they have any interest to declare? All right.
Yeah, APS to the Education Minister.
Okay.
Just likewise, APS to Communities Minister.
Okay. Patrick?
Chair, just two. So the first one as chair of the all-party group on mental health, just for item 7, and then for item 9, former teacher and current member of a board of governors.
Okay, Colin and David.
Chair of Communities Committee and also developing members' bill around homelessness.
Good. Okay.
Chair of Dramara, or chair, I'm not chair, actually you're the chair. I'm the board of governors of Dramara Primary School.
Okay. Cahill, you may as well full house here.
Might as well full house, yeah. Member of the Board of Governors, Clay School, Kenny.
Good. Okay. Thanks very much. Members, as chair of this committee, I've been invited by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation to attend a roundtable discussion on a poverty-free future for Northern Ireland. It's on the 17th of October, which is a Friday at the MAC in Belfast. Unfortunately, I'm not available on that particular day, but I do think it'd be a good event and worth going to. Jan, as Deputy Chair, is it something you'd be interested in?
Chair, I would be interested, but I'm not available on that day either, unfortunately.
Okay.
Well, I am attending as Chair of Community, so I can provide a feedback if required, but I am hoping to attend.
Okay. A double whammy then, that's grand. We can do that. Is that okay, Lucia? Is that?
Yep.
Okay. That's great. Thank you for that. Colin. Okay, members, I think it's also worth mentioning that Mr. Rodney Allen, who's the Chief Operating Officer at the Northern Ireland Audit Office, is celebrating 40 years with the Northern Ireland Audit Office. I think that's a remarkable milestone and speaks truth to and testament to his work and leadership within that office and the important work that happens there. I would propose, members, that we write to Rodney congratulating him on behalf of this committee and thanking him for his 40 years of service to the Northern Ireland Audit Office and, of course, to the people of Northern Ireland as a public servant for such a period of time. Okay?
Yep. Yes, we should have got him in for a photograph.
Sheriff is right, yeah. He's not up today, though, I don't think we can check with
If it happened to work something.
No, that's grand. Thank you very much. Okay, members, at agenda item 5, matters arising. Can I refer you to correspondence, page 3 of the table pack from the clerk to the Infrastructure Committee, informing the committee that the Infrastructure Committee has been doing some joint work with the Agriculture Committee on the A5. Can we write to the Agriculture Committee members to note that the Public Accounts Committee is leading on the A5 case study as part of its major capital projects inquiry, and to request coordination to avoid any duplication of work across statutory committees? Members agreed with that? Yep. Okay. Okay, members, under item 6, with no correspondence to note today, we'll move on to agenda item 7, the MOR, the Memorandum of Reply on Mental Health Services in Northern Ireland. Can I refer members to the relevant documents? The clerk's brief, it's been provided at pages 6 to 14 of the table pack, and all relevant correspondence at pages 24 to 63 of the meeting pack. Yanni, at this point, can we welcome in the Controller and Auditor General and her team? It's okay.
Yes, system here.
Members, have you any views on this particular memorandum of reply in relation to mental health services in Northern Ireland?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And just keeping it in the spotlight as we have World Mental Health Day tomorrow is really important. But just the extended deadlines from what we had originally recommended, just it is disappointing. There's a couple of things that are due now, and I see in the suggested actions that we follow up on them. But I just remain concerned, as I was throughout this inquiry, of just that the overriding lack of outcome data, because the people's struggles continue on, and people continue to be going through the health system. Money is continuing to be spent, and it does seem like a very far in the future thing that they're talking about data whilst people are still going through the system. So it's just such a live issue, and just continue to be concerned about it. And if there's anything we can do just to reiterate the urgency that this committee sees to mental health services, it would be good.
I do get the sense that there is a lack of clear understanding of what is happening at the cold face within communities, and also that there's a lack of urgency to respond to that need. So, Dan, I think that's an important theme that you've picked up on, and I would suggest, obviously subject to what other members say, that we reply and stress that as well, and highlight some of those concerns that we have. Colin?
Yeah, just a similar one, I have to say. I suppose when you go through them, there are some of them where you could say to yourself, okay, that looks like, encompassed, there could be justifiable reason. There's other ones, I think taking 6 maybe as an example, it seems like almost the problem we're trying to solve cannot be solved because of the problem we're trying to solve around staffing, and it feels very circular, and a kind of a lack of ambition or urgency around it in that sense. I quoted here at the time we did this report around a constituent who had come to me who had been told he would be 5 years waiting for a mental health appointment, and just you almost get a concept of people being comfortable with delay to an extent, and it's real urgency that's needed. I also think there's a really important point that in all of our reports in this term or whatever, that we're consistent around the language and the response to issues like this where they appear in different departments, that we're consistent right across with the follow-ups and the language and the expectations.
I think that's an important point to raise, and I think as both of you have said, we have to remember that behind all of this there is people genuinely struggling and suffering, and all of us can point to examples even since the inquiry where we don't see improvements in the system in terms of accessibility for people, and I think that is deeply regrettable, particularly at this time of year. I know it's happening all year. There's people challenged with mental health, but as we move towards Christmas, those services come under more and more pressure, and if people aren't getting access to them, then there's obviously a very serious problem there. David?
The things with data was one that stands out as well, that sort of lack of data actually. But I think the concern is we're not moving anywhere here. Mm-hmm. We've actually highlighted a thing. We talked about the funding was the thing that was annoying me at the time, where 6-7% of the figure was. Half of basically what the rest of the UK is. Where's the difference? Where's the money? Because we're paying more per head per health, yet we're paying half of what the rest of England and Scotland are doing. And I suppose 2.5 billion in the compass is where that has come out since of where it is. But you've got that. You've got waiting lists. They're actually saying they're on track, but they're not. They're getting worse. The delay for the CAMS is getting worse. We've a report here, and it really seems that we're not taking it serious at all. Are not taking the issue serious at all. It's really, this was our first report when we were back, and one of the most major issues, and the reason it was first was because of that. And it just seems the department are going round circles, as Colin says, just go around and blame whoever's not in the room internally, but there's no actual focus and direction, and we're not seeing it now.
Members, given what's been said, our first initial response probably should be to write back and stress the concerns raised by committee, but given how strongly we felt about this at the time, do we feel the department has adequately taken on board the concerns raised and the recommendations of our report at this stage? Dan? Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it, Chair, and you know, and as you say, this is the first one we had, and I'm just looking back at the dates here, and their MOR was published in August last year, so like this is well over a year. Whenever we raised it, the situation was bad. A whole year has passed, and it feels like it's drifting on. Would there be potential that we ask them back in to discuss where things are again?
I think we're starting to see a trend in some of these MORs where the recommendations of our reports are not being considered with the weight they deserve. So, in the interests of scrutiny and accountability, I think it is a good suggestion to invite them back in to discuss the MOR and just how unacceptable this is, because we spent a huge amount of time on this, as did the Northern Audit Office in their report as well. So I'd be keen to do that. Members, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'd be content with that proposal, yeah.
Yeah, Chair, we're content with that as well. And I think when you look through the report, what you're getting all the time from DOH is that they're working on this or they're working on another thing, or they're trying to develop something else. But we're not getting no timeline or no deadline or no targets as to when that's going to be completed. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah, it is a bit of chasing their own tail tactics going on. I've noticed a statement from the Minister of Health this week saying that it'll be for the changes will not be seen until such times as the next minister is in place. I don't think that's acceptable, given the state of chaos that that our health system is in. So if that's the attitude from the top, then it is clear that that's trickling through. And I think to give this some urgency, I think what we'll do is we'll invite them back.
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Okay then, members, so following that conversation, the proposal is to invite them back, and we'll do that following today's meeting. Okay, members, Dorinnia, have you any on that? You're happy enough? Okay, thank you. Okay, members, we'll now move into closed session.